So this is part 2 of how my life has changed. So I made the decision to go to college, and that was based off, if I didn't make that decision, I would have regretted not going to college, and I would have just regretted that decision. So I did it. I made the decision, and I wanted to race at the same time, so I went somewhere where it's warm year-round, so I chose Florida. And then the best business school for marketing that I found was Florida State University. So that's how I made my decision. And I went to Florida and I tried to start my own business. It was called Tremellan Media, where I was doing my own marketing thing, kind of like I'm doing now, only I had no clue what I was doing. But long story short, doing schoolwork and trying to run a business didn't really work well. So I saw my schoolwork and the business both suffer. I liked trying to build my own business more than I liked doing schoolwork. And it instantly just became work. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I wasn't learning anything. And I was just seeing the student loan just build up. The fact that I spent $15,000 to do one semester of classes blew my mind. And the fact that I got nothing out of it was ridiculous. And I quickly just realized that school wasn't for me. And I knew that there were so many other options, but I didn't want to fail that early. Eventually I just sucked it up and I made the decision. I dropped out and I told my dad, I told my mom. They were alright with it. They didn't like the decision, but they're alright with it. And my initial plan was to stay in Florida and try to do my business and just grow on my own in Florida. And then I got a stomach infection. So in the beginning of January, I wasn't doing school. I was just focusing on building my brand. It was Pursuit brand at the time. Now it's Pursuit Family. And directly after I launched that, I was stuck in bed. I was bedridden. I was crazy low on energy. I think at that time I was like 135 pounds. And then from the middle of January to the middle of March, 2 months, I went down to 100 pounds. And I went from running 5-6 miles a day to not being able to get out of my bed. I remember ordering Uber Eats, and I'd have to get out of my bed, run to the front door. I'd have to crouch down to get my vision back, get the food from the delivery driver, then run back to my bed and lay down and wait for my vision to come back to be able to eat. And it was terrible. Like, it was the most miserable thing. I couldn't stand up long enough to take a shower. I had to take a bath. And there were days where I didn't even get out of bed. I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't shower. It was terrible. I knew something was wrong, and I went to the hospital twice in this 2-month period, and they just thought I was just having a flare-up. So they just gave me steroids, and I went on my way. And they helped a little bit, and the second I got off the steroids, it just came back, and it wasn't any better. Just didn't know what to do. So I finally scheduled a appointment with an actual stomach doctor. And the closest appointment I could get with the stomach doctor was, I think, 2 weeks or a month. And the week before that appointment, I was meeting my dad and brother down in Florida for the first race of the season. And after everyone saw me and saw how bad I was, and I truly realized how bad it was, we made a decision to come home. And after we left Florida, we drove straight home. I went directly to the hospital, and they did a couple tests and instantly saw I had a stomach infection. And it was a lot worse than we thought. It wasn't just the fact that I was malnourished and just dying, but this stomach infection also made my Crohn's act up, and it just wreaked havoc on my stomach. And when we got to the hospital, I think it was the first or second day, a surgeon came in and said they're gonna have to take out my entire colon and all of my intestine and put an ostomy bag on me. And I don't think I've ever cried so hard in my entire life. I thought my life was over. That day was the worst day of my life. And it took a while, but I didn't agree with what she said at all. I just had hope from somewhere, and I just wanted everything to be able to get fixed without surgery. And I don't really remember the details, but all I remember is I left that hospital just not taking any advice from anyone there. All I needed was a chance, and we got a new surgeon after that, and we got a really cool doctor, and they both gave me the opportunity to try to heal my body with just food and have food be the medicine. So I went home and I had an IV nutrition, which if you watch my first vlogs, you'll see that I have a PICC line in my arm with a nutrition backpack on. And I went home with that. And that was gonna be a semi-permanent thing. I was supposed to have that on for a minimum of 6 months. And my body kind of just completely turned around. I think it was 5 weeks, and I was heavier than I ever was, and they took the bag off me right away. Then I went to a race, and I ran for the couple first times, and they're also in the vlog. And I just slowly started to build back. I started with a quarter mile. Actually, I started walking with a quarter mile. And then I pushed myself to run, and then I pushed myself to sprint, and then I just ran further and further, and I started eating more and more, and it got to the point where I was back to my normal self. I feel like I'm leaving so much out, but my recovery is just kind of a blur, and I wish I would have daily vlogged every single day of it. And there's only one little speed bump that I need to get over before I'm 100% in the clear, but I can't see me ever being 100% in the clear with this condition. I could get another stomach infection, I could get knocked back down, I could have another surgery. I really don't know where it's gonna end up. Alright guys, that's all I ended up getting. I was really hungry and I was kind of out of it when I was saying that, but I got everything in there I wanted to explain. But I just couldn't end the vlog like that. I ended on such a negative note. But I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing better than I ever have before, and there is a lot of uncertainty in my future, but I'm so excited to see where it goes. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.